Man, that weekend flew by, Gager.
Especially because you didn't have to work.
I feel like we just got off the air on Friday. Welcome to EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, our lovely producer, Zach Kubusch, Kub Nation, Zachticum. We're all in the house today. Lots to get to. A fun weekend in sports. The Oilers are rolling. Are they back, Gager? We'll get to all of it. Tre Ford met with the media today. He will join us at 2:20, so make sure you're tuned in. If you're listening in, go to EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in radio or iHeartRadio. And if you want to watch, you can also go to the EST YouTube channel. Hit us up on the nasty chat. Text 780-218-9999. I think on Friday we did get to our highest ever thumbs up, Gager, because I checked in after in the evening and they were pretty high.
Oh, really?
Let me double back and check that. But let's hit over 100 again today. Hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. More eyes on our station, more eyes on the shows and all that fun stuff. It costs nothing. Don't be afraid. Just hit subscribe and hit the thumbs up, and that would be greatly appreciated. Derek Van Diest is set to join us at 1:40. He just messaged me. He is doing an interview with John Cooper.
Oh,
so we might have to push him back. So he's either going to go before or after Tre, but we'll keep you posted on that.
Bumped for John Cooper.
I know. Ridiculous. We're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. I think I've touched on everything. Gager, I got to get to the weekend you're filling in on the post-game show with Trev. I didn't watch the game because I was at a Christmas party. Fill me in, man. Like, were the Oilers good? Were the Oilers, they had some good, bad moments. What stood out to you in that game?
Well, what stands out to me right now is you didn't listen to my job on the post-game show. So
no, I was partying.
You suck. Good one, Zach. No, it was good, man. It was a really good game. The St. Louis Blues are a lot better than I thought they were, or gave them credit for.
Okay.
Just with the slow start, I did make the reference to the Edmonton Oilers being if you needed anything sanded over the weekend, to go get the sandpaper Edmonton Oilers grade. Because they take that coach's bump right out of anything. Because the St. Louis Blues were rolling. They were doing I think they were 4-0-1 over the past 5 with Jim Montgomery at the helm.
Yeah.
And McDavid made that game look like the brick tournament for a little bit. He was just it's crazy sometimes how he makes people look just with his speed, vision. Our
boy Broberg coughed one up to him, for a goal.
He was Broberg. I did have the ISO cam on Broberg, and he didn't have a really great game. Like, it looked like one of the games Broberg had here at the beginning. But
maybe it got to him that he was playing here. Boo!
Oh, I'm sure it did. How does it not? Like, you come in the morning, everything is familiar, but you're going that extra distance to the visiting room all of a sudden, right? And it's he was part of a team that almost won a Stanley Cup and signed the offer sheet. I'm sure he wanted to prove that they made the right decision. Holloway, there was one moment, and I talked about this on the post-game show. I loved when there was a little bit of a scrum and Connor McDavid got right in Dylan Holloway's face and kind of grabbed him by the sweater like a father would, and kind of gave him a few rabbit punches. And to me, buddy, I've seen that before when guys go other places, or a young guy and the veteran grabs him and just, I'm not saying that Connor beat him up by any means, but just kind of showed him, look, we're not friends anymore. You
wanted to make more money?
Yeah. Well, you know what? When I was watching that, the first thing that came into my head was Zach Hyman at the end of last year standing there with Connor McDavid crying and saying, I hope everyone comes back, and gave that heartfelt speech, because he says, we're going to get back here. And you could see in Holloway's, because he was playing and he looked like he was feeling it a little bit, but after that, he had shoulders slumped going by the Edmonton Oilers bench, and just it was a game within the game that you see veterans can kind of do to players. And although Holloway scored, he scored a nice goal, but
didn't we say that on Friday?
Oh yeah, there was a good chance that he was probably going to score. But I loved it. I loved that little bit of parenting, I guess you could say, by Connor McDavid.
Question for you. I saw a lot that Stuart Skinner was really good in the game.
Fantastic.
Yeah, okay. I still saw, because I clicked into the YouTube post game. I just wanted to quickly scroll and see what and I still see people not giving him credit. And this is what bothers me about the whole goalie situation here, is that if that was Calvin Pickard, holy crap, he should be the starter. Well, because it's Stuart Skinner, it's like he was okay. I saw a lot of he didn't do anything special. But then I'm seeing reports from a lot of media, including you guys, and you guys are like, he was like awesome. He was the first star of the game.
Dude, it was a big game for Stuart Skinner as well. Like you go from the summer probably hearing about this Four Nations, that you're going to be part of this team in some capacity, and you have a slow start to the season. There's still the outside chance you don't make the team. You're not even on a list like for Team 2, which from TSN as well. So, and you're playing against arguably the guy that might start the first game at this tournament. So there was a lot of other things that you could use for motivation going into that game. And when you look at it, he outplayed Jordan Binnington completely. Sure. I think it was the McDavid goal that was off the pass from Broberg. If a great goal, because I like when take the safeties off, a chance like that comes, and you shoot it quick. Like especially off a broken play, you want to shoot that, because you could see Jordan Binnington. He saw his player had complete control of the puck. He thinks that thing's going to get out. All of a sudden, Connor McDavid's in the slot with the puck. You're not ready for it. He just rips it 5-hole.
Yeah.
If that was Skinner though, they'd complain that they got ripped 5-hole on a goal, but
that's what I mean. Like it's just piling on at this point. KD says Skinner was so good. Our section started a Skinner's better chant.
Whoa!
I saw that on Twitter as well. Yeah, so good. Great to see Hyman score again. I think he's back. So I'm going to ask you right now, and I just want a simple answer, Gager. Are the Oilers back? Because they've won 5 of their last 6.
That's you asked me that before and I didn't respond to you, and I'll have to now. I have a tough time saying they're back, because they were a different team. There's still areas where they need to
improve.
Yeah, and there's still a couple guys that are injured that are going to come back in this lineup. So they're playing. I'll say this: they're playing really well right now. They're playing the most complete hockey that we've seen since that playoff run last year.
That's a good way of putting it. And then listen, I know everybody's excited, and it's good for the team. It looks like they're finding their groove. They're not going to win every game here on in, but it's important that they're finding their groove. Special teams is improving. Goaltending is improving. Defensively, they're holding on, Gager. Like, you can survive until the deadline, but this does not mean you don't need an upgrade on defense. I just want to throw that out there, okay? Jeff Jackson and Stambo, if you're listening to our show,
they're listening.
Which you
don't
probably
worry.
are. Yes, the team's playing a lot better. A lot of guys are having good bounce backs right now in this kind of post-U.S. Thanksgiving time. You still need upgrades, so don't let that fool you. And then I'm glad the Holloway Broberg stuff's over. I'll ask you this, because I saw this from a lot of media on Saturday, scrolling Twitter at the party. A lot of people were upset that they were getting booed, but I'm like, this is sports, man. This is what we do.
Who's upset that they were booed?
A lot of people.
Really?
I'm gonna ask DVD, because I think DVD tweeted that out too.
Oh, he's such a softie.
But yeah, they signed an offer sheet. Yeah, the Oilers didn't match, but here in Edmonton and in all sports, you're always going to boo your ex-players. It's part of the shtick, man.
Look at it. If it helps, look at it this way. Broberg, it sounds like he didn't really want to be here in the first place. Like, he wanted to be in the NHL, right? And it just wasn't happening for him. Holloway, he's from Calgary. Really? We boo people from Calgary.
Yeah, so, and I like what Darnell says. He says, hey, man, they're good teammates. We love the guys. He goes, well, you get booed, man. It's part of it,
game,
man.
Yeah. Darnell, I get booed here all the time.
I'm still on
the team.
Okay, but I wasn't watching the game. Were the boos really loud? Boos? Sorry, I said
no. When they touched the puck, there was some boos. I thought it was great. You don't even hear that as a player, really. And then it's like, you got to be careful with certain players because I think it fires them up. Like Drew Doughty feeds off that stuff.
He loves
He loves
He's
it.
like, boo me more.
Boo me more, and then I'm going to score, and then I'm going to give you all the come at me, bro, fingers skating around the ice. So let him sleep whenever he's back with the Kings.
We got some breaking news here. Nothing official yet. Elliot Friedman on Twitter just tweeted out, Gager, hearing Mackenzie Blackwood to the Colorado Avalanche. How many goalies do they need?
Jeez, I might have to sharpen up the resume here.
Who did they get last week? Does anyone remember? Oh, Wedgwood.
Wedgwood, yeah.
So now they have Georgiev, Wedgwood, and Mackenzie Blackwood. That's bizarre.
Can't forget Antunen.
Antunen at the beginning, yeah.
Oh, I like how you said that. Antunen.
And David Pagnotta on Twitter kind of replied to Elliot there saying that Giovanni Smith is also going to be an Av in the trade, supposedly.
Oh, he just hit waivers, too. Yeah, I think that's correct. Okay, we'll keep you updated on that story right there. But, yeah, Colorado obviously not happy with their goaltending, Gager.
They haven't been since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, being active and all that. And update from practice, the lines remained all the same. Obviously, when you're playing this well and you're on a 5 wins out of your last 6, you're going to keep things the same. And a quick update on Victor Arvidsson from Coach Knobloch says he's been skating, feeling better, and not going to play immediately. We're hoping that he's back practicing with the team this week. So I guess that's a bit of positive news. At least he'll hit the ice with the most mysterious guy in the NHL, Gager, right now, Victor Arvidsson. No one knows what the hell's going on here.
He's an international man of mystery, that one.
Okay, Gager, I do want to get to some Broberg stuff, but I'm going to save that for the second segment. The Rangers lost again, 7-5. I don't know if you saw the Sabres. They were chanting fire Adams, where is Terry chants on Saturday after another loss. I mean, these two teams going in. The Rangers are surprising to me. They're the last team in the wild card spot right now. They should be better than this, but Seattle put up 7 on them.
Yeah,
or was it Utah? One of those.
That house of cards is falling apart. It's not a good mix for some reason because when you look at the kind of the blueprint, Kreider, Zibanejad, or Fox, Shesterkin. There's just too many talented players on that team that should be able to right this ship. And this one is super, super puzzling. Panarin, like, come on, this
Shesterkin.
Yeah, this team should be battling, but something's happened. I don't know what it is. The next to go is the coach here pretty quick.
I feel like they're not done making moves there.
Yeah. And Pete Laviolette, he's a good coach, man.
He is.
Once told me when I played for him for a bit, he said that was one of the best goaltending performances I ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. Then he cut me.
Big Brain Jace says Flames still boo Fox all these years later. Boo away. And he didn't even play for them. Matthew Kachuk says the boos feel my hellfire.
Oh, his hellfire.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So what else do we have here? Just a lot. People letting us know about Mackenzie Blackwood. Tre Ford did meet with the media today, Gager. He seems like he's, what's the word I'm looking for? Fresh look at his career, fresh start. He looked great. He answered all the questions. Great presence by Edmonton Sports Talk. We had Jay Mill, Matthew Wanek, Reed Wilkins. They're all asking questions. I like what he said when he said, this is from Ed Hervey, sorry. Tre Ford is clearly the young man we want to lead our football team, which is awesome. And then Tre Ford said, you have to earn everything you get. So he's going in knowing he's technically the number one. He's going to have to compete for it. It's still an open competition, but he's the leading candidate. And I just like what he said, that he has to earn it. He has to improve in so many different ways, whether it comes to film work, being with the one since day one, because this will be the first time he's with the one since day one, Gager. But yeah. I know we talked about it a lot on Friday, and he's going to join us at 2:20 to talk a little bit more. But it's just it's refreshing to hear these guys talk after a very rocky 3 years to start Tre Ford's career.
Yeah, and he said all the right things. We'll talk to him soon, but I want to see how, and I hope he gives a little bit of insight, because this has got to be a little bit of a little I don't want to say less pressure, but because it could add to more motivation to just be, okay, I'm the guy now, so that's cool. That's a really good feeling as a professional athlete.
But not and also knowing that you have no shot at being the starter, right? Because that was the case last year, right?
I know.
Now you're like, hey,
well, that's the thing. When you heard from the snippets I heard from Tre Ford, he went in with a really good attitude, even though he knew he was kind of getting a back seat. Like, anything can happen. Like, he prepared, I think, to begin the season as the starter for the Edmonton Elks, which is great. That's what you want. But now he can really, really focus in on preparing himself for a good training camp in game one.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait to chat with him. And he did say in the press conference he's going to be spending the offseason here training. So that means there's going to be a lot of marketing opportunities for him as well with the club. So I'm just so happy for everybody down there at the Edmonton Elks office. Exciting times for the football team. And you sign a guy that I think, I know for a fact everybody in the office loved, all our listeners love. Our office, Matthew Wanek, was celebrating like crazy on Friday. So very happy to see Tre Ford stick around here for another 3 years and be the number one guy. We're at 34 thumbs up. Like Joel said on the Nasty Chat, press the like button, people. 134 watching. Just doesn't add up, but we're off to a good start. Probably our fastest start 18 minutes into the show. So hammer the thumbs up. Hammer the subscribe button if you haven't. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. Host your team or league fundraiser at the Canadian Brewhouse for a chance to win $2,500 with tons of options to choose from. The Canadian Brewhouse can help you raise the funds for your crew. Details in store or online at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. Up next, Gage, I'm going to ask you something that came up in an article this week about Philip Broberg. We'll break it down. We want you to participate as well on the Nasty Chat or text us 780-218-9999. We're back with more Oilers talk here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. But first up, Zach with a sports update.
Breaking news in the NHL with Elliot Friedman. In front of EST, David Pagnotta reporting that the Avalanche have traded for Mackenzie Blackwood of the San Jose Sharks, swapping Alexander Georgiev, Nikolai Kovalenko, a 2025 fifth-round pick, and a 2026 second-round pick for Blackwood, Giovanni Smith, and a 2027 fifth-round selection. And there are just 3 games in the NHL today with the Blackhawks battling the Rangers, Red Wings meeting the Sabres, and the Ducks facing the Canadiens, seeing the Oilers back in action tomorrow when they take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Down south, Saints interim head coach Darren Risen says that Derek Carr is week to week being placed in concussion protocol while also recovering from a hand injury. And Week 14 wraps up with the Bengals kicking off against the Cowboys, where you can join Lieutenant Eric at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge in Fort Road for the action, while the Raptors hit the court for the lone NBA game, tipping off with the New York Knicks. EST Afternoons returns after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of Injury Law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Celebrate the season by creating space for your holidays. Sentinel Storage, affordable and flexible storage solutions at a store near you. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Monday afternoon. Oilers off today. Back at it tomorrow against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Always a fun game when those two teams meet. We'll see if the Oilers can continue rolling on. Tampa Bay picked up a nice win in Vancouver yesterday, 4-2. Vancouver's only won 4 regulation games at home so far, and they're all non-playoff teams. So they're a fascinating team because they're really, really good on the road. If you heard Zach Kubusch, you heard about the big trade going down between the Colorado Avalanche and the San Jose Sharks. Here is what's happening. The Sharks will receive Alexander Georgiev, forward Nikolai Kovalenko, a 2025 fifth-round pick, and a 2022 second-round pick, and the Avs in return get Mackenzie Blackwood, Giovanni Smith, forward, and a 2027 fifth-round pick, and I think there's some salary retained here. The Avs are retaining 14% of Georgiev's salary in the deal with the San Jose Sharks. Gage, your initial thoughts?
Well, something had to break here for the Colorado Avalanche. You could tell if you were to watch one of their games. Most of the commentary was how, I guess the proper word is displeased they are where their goaltending situation is at, right? So instead of waiting, this has been a kind of a weird month for kind of trades, and things are the waters are shifting, or the land is shifting tremendously. What's happening with the Rangers now? This with it's almost an arms race to get back into the hunt here with teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if you hear the Edmonton Oilers name called upon at some point here with so much movement and things. I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised that this happened kind of this early. But let's face it, the Avs needed to do something with their goaltending situation. You can't have McKinnon and Rantanen and Nikushkin and, Cale Makar, and you're in your Stanley Cup window. It's an area that you need to focus on and get better. Maybe the Edmonton Oilers need to do this now rather than later.
And that's a great point, Gager, because I look at it like, yes, they looked at their goaltending and said, this isn't good enough. Yeah. Georgiev, we've given him enough runway. He hasn't been able to grab the spot or improve. We're going to make a trade. They pick up 2 goaltenders that they're going to roll with now, Gager. And I look at it at the Oilers, kind of in their eyes, that's their decor.
Yeah.
And move. If you have the deal, move on it before the deadline. Because then at the deadline, who knows what else you can add. But I like where you're going with that, because this might push teams to start saying, hey, guys, we're going to miss out if we wait till March.
Well, this usually is what happens, right?
Yeah.
Last year, I remember when Coach Woodcroft got let go, there was like 2 other firings right away. Teams didn't wait, right? So now you have it this year, roughly around the same time, where you've got a lot of player movement. So that phone was probably ringing off the hook in all these GM rooms, right? Especially you look at teams that are on the outside looking in. Like I look at Buffalo. Man,
they got to make a move.
It's sad in Buffalo right now. Their GM was Kevin Adams was talking, and he kind of explained himself, and it was a jarring statement at first. Like, Buffalo's not a destination city.
No palm trees. You pay
but he got into that a little bit. But he said no palm trees. It's a little bit different. The New York state tax is still here, right? But and he went into how do you build that? How do you fix that? And winning cures everything. Culture. So that's what's going to bring people to want to come to Buffalo. Like for years, how many times did we hear Edmonton is not a desirable place? What happens this year? you got guys begging to come to Edmonton.
Because you're
play.
winning. You're
Exactly.
in that Stanley Cup window, and
Yeah.
you got to feel bad for the Buffalo fans. They're beyond frustrated with that team. Even the media, just follow them on Twitter, and they're at their wits' end there with
But they
that
shouldn't
team.
be bad.
No,
They should be good.
they should be good.
Got Ryan McLeod.
Maybe they need Savoy back. All right, so that's the big trade there. Georgiev, Kovalenko to the Sharks in exchange for Mackenzie Blackwood and Giovanni Smith. A bunch of picks involved starting in 2025 as well. So hopefully the Oilers are looking at this. Again, don't make a panic trade or anything like that, but I know they're rolling, but you still need help and to upgrade that D-core. So jump on it if you can. And kind of, because like Gager said, these teams are making the moves quickly because they know how important it is and not to wait till March to see what you can do. So I do want to get to this. There's an article over the weekend, I think Speck wrote it, about Philip Broberg. And it was kind of putting a little bit of blame on Jay Woodcroft for the handling of Philip Broberg. And I think there's some truth to that. I think Jay Woodcroft really didn't play him a lot. Gager he was always the seventh defenseman. Remember, because Woodcroft would love the 11 and 7.
Yeah.
He was kind of up and down, never gave him kind of a real hard look. So I think there is some truth to that. Knobloch had him last year. Didn't play him until the playoffs, Gager. So it's kind of the same boat. But what do you make of kind of putting blame towards Jay Woodcroft for what happened with Philip Broberg?
Tell you the truth, I don't put much on Woodcroft in this regard because I look back at the preseason and that was last year, and that was a chance for Philip Broberg to really grab hold of a position and secure a spot, a regular spot to start the season at least. I think in my estimation, and his lack of better terms, he sucked in preseason. Like, he was giving the puck away. He just looked completely out of sorts. And then when he got into games, there was the confidence factor just was not there. He made mistakes. He didn't look like he was able to handle the physicality of the NHL. Like, he wasn't using his best attributes which is his skating ability, and I think from his first pass ability, be able to beat forward checkers is elite. And he just didn't grab it. He didn't grab it. If that could have changed. And
That's a good point.
When he got back, and from all accounts, he got sent to the minors and said it was basically, we'll see you at playoffs, right? You go down there and find your game, and that's what he did. You hear about what he was able to do. They said he's arguably the best defender in the American League right now, right? So comes up, way more confidence, and he's shown what he can do at the NHL level, and throughout the start of the season with the St. Louis Blues as well. So no, I don't put. Sometimes you got to put a little bit more on the player. I think they did all they could to. Broberg, how many chances do you give a guy? Look at Georgiev. He's done, right? How many chances do you give a guy before they really show it? He did really show it when it mattered. Oilers just were not in a position to match that offer.
And I think you make a great point, and we kind of forget, last year at the beginning of the year, it was his spot.
It was his, and then who was injured? I think it was Ekholm was injured too, right?
To start.
Because the rumblings, if memory serves, was they wanted to see if Ekholm could play with Broberg and kind of do the same thing he did with Bouchard.
But Ekholm missed, I think he missed one game when
He
they
missed
lost.
like the first few.
No, he missed the first one. They got beat 8-1.
Yeah.
And then he came back early, but he wasn't good.
He wasn't good, yeah.
Yeah, and then Vinny took that spot. So you have to put some of it on the player. And I do agree to a certain extent that they wouldn't play him. They wouldn't give him the opportunity, sure, but he didn't earn it either.
And the start of the season, they couldn't afford to treat the NHL as a developmental league at that point. They were, it was a rough start to the season last year.
Because they brought him up last year in the playoffs. He had a good year in the minors. Like, they told him, go to the minors, work on your game, play a ton of minutes, and he stepped in and he didn't miss a beat.
No, it was, and where there's, sometimes on teams, maybe there's a teammate who's not playing to their total capability, and I felt that Vinny Desharnais was starting to get a little bit exposed, right? Especially in that Dallas series.
Oh, yeah.
Broberg came in, and he it was seamless, absolutely seamless.
Just put it this way: Vinny Desharnais is in and out of the Vancouver lineup. He's not a target guy, I don't think, because he struggles a lot with the foot speed. He struggles in the defensive zone. He's a good penalty killer. There's nothing taken away, but yeah, there's a reason why he's in and out of the lineup in Vancouver. And here in Edmonton, he played almost every game in the regular season because they had the 6 guys. It was pretty much them the whole time. And then Broberg came in for him when he started to struggle in the playoffs. Steph's Legend says, I guess management is okay with mediocre goaltending. If you look overall at the start, yes, it was very mediocre. You needed improvements, but Stuart Skinner's last 6 games, 931, 808, 941, 964, 938, 935. So take it in small sample size. He's playing all. I mean, if you have that same percentage from here on in, Gager, the Oilers are going to be more than okay.
Oh my gosh! And this is what you want. You're not going to have those types of numbers every game. Again, we got to go to the brilliance of YouTube Trev.
But that's not.
He's a slow starter, but now everything's coming around. Everything's coming around in a lot of ways, not just goaltending for the Edmonton Oilers. I think their defensive structure's better. The PK's better. The power play, although it's not where it was last year, it still looks a little bit more threatening at times. So, looking at the big picture, wasn't a great start, but when you do narrow in on certain sections, one of the main reasons that the Edmonton Oilers are their record is as good as it is over the last 10 games is because of strong goaltending.
Yeah, and every time Calvin Pickard plays, he should be the number one. I'll give you his last 6: 963, 813, 909, 917, 903, 864. And taking nothing away from Calvin Pickard, he's doing what a backup of a team should do. He wins you games, gives you a chance every game. But we're still hard on Skinner when he's posting 930 in 5 of his last 6 games, and Calvin Pickard's highest is 917. Do you know what I mean, Gage?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I say, listen, at the beginning of the year, I said it, and I said no excuse for Stuart Skinner. He needed to be better. But if you're still on that boat, you're not paying attention to the last 6 games.
And no name on this text, but comes in, and 0 injuries on D last year, so Broby didn't get a chance to get called up, which is true. Like, usually there are injuries on the back end that there's certain call-ups throughout the year. So he was not benefiting from that as well.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I think the goaltending, they're not acquiring a goaltender, the Oilers. They're rolling with these 2 guys.
Whoa.
Like, it's just like, let's just put an end to that.
Stop it.
The Oilers need an improvement in the D-core, and I think that's where it's going to go. Smitty the Welder says, with what cap space? Well, I mean, that's what GMs do, man. They get paid to move money around and contracts around. Like, we're going to sit here. It's funny because this is the first time a listener's actually said with what cap money, because everybody else kind of always wants a trade to happen and gives us ideas and all that. So I get it. Yeah, they don't have a lot, but if they're making a trade, Gage, or it's some retained salary or it's money going out the other way.
Like, what? I don't know. I'd have to do a deep dive, but what other goaltender are you going to get that has Stuart Skinner's type numbers over the last little bit, making $2.6 million? I'll tell you, 0.
That's what I mean. Like, the Oilers' goalie tandem's 3.6.
It's unreal.
It's unreal for a team that's in a Stanley Cup window. That means you can build in other spots. And let's not forget, yes, he struggled in the Vancouver series, but this guy played well all the way to the finals. And people are going to bring up the 2-1 in Game 7. Gage are like, come on. Like,
oh, really?
Like it is what it is. Bouchard hit the post.
He doesn't.
Maybe it changes the game.
Yeah, that's the problem. Stuart. This market's hilarious at times. The Edmonton Oilers fans need someone to point blame to just in case things go really wrong, I think. And it moves from player to player. And it's been on Nurse for a long time. It shifted. It was on Bouchard, I think, to start the season here. And now Bouchard seemed like he looked really good the last few games. And now they're just moving on to Stuart Skinner, which isn't warranted. It's easier to point blame on the goalie because you're the one allowing the goals, like unless he gets a shutout.
My point is, everybody's like, Pickard's been better than Skinner. He hasn't in the last in the last little bit here. He hasn't.
No,
and both guys have been good.
Pickard's your number 2 guy. Stuart Skinner's the big dog.
Yeah, people are asking what Spec asked. No, it's nothing that he wrote an article about Broberg's time here, and it kind of it was intertwined with Jay Woodcroft's handling of him, I guess. Where I don't disagree completely. I think there's some good points in the article. Gager says it's more on the player, which it's fine too. I think it is. He could have took that spot last year in training camp and ran with it instead. He had a very poor training camp and exhibition seasons, and that's why Vinny got the spot over him. But I think the part that hurts the most, Gager, is, and I've heard a lot of the media join different shows, even here in this morning, like you lost 2 guys that were young, you had control of, that were going to be impact players on your team. I think that's what hurts. It's just that they played you. Jeff Jackson and his management team didn't manage the cap correctly. They signed a bunch of older guys and left these guys off to the side that probably didn't sit well with them. So I think that's the frustration, is this was all done by the Oilers.
Yeah, it was short-sightedness. And you asked me the question on Friday. What would you do now? Would you have matched these guys or kept the signings from the summer? And I'd say I'd keep the young guys. Just
now
I would. Yeah. With how the start of the year has gone. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. But
so did we say would you keep Skinner and Arvidsson over Holloway?
Yeah. Yeah. So I said keep Broberg in.
I think now, and it's easier to say.
It's easier to say it now.
Yeah,
because I said this before. Don't get me wrong. I think Holloway's a good player, but I do think there's a lot of Holloways out there that you can replace with. It's the Broberg. That's the most difficult one. Ontario Momes comes in and he asked me the question: does Lewis win another in red, or is he hitting his Alonso stage? I can't stand George Russell, but the way he's coming at Max in the media, I'm here for it. Ontario, I'm here for it too. I can't wait. March couldn't come fast enough to see this budding rivalry. Can Lewis win in red? I think we're going to get to this more in the 2:00 hour here.
I think he can, though.
I think he can too.
I think it's very. I didn't get to watch the race, but I was seeing all the clips, and it was very emotional for a lot of different drivers.
Yeah,
yeah, it was. Yeah. It was really nice. It was really nice. Let's see here.
Yeah, that's a tough question. To me, I hope Lewis wins, just because I think what happened in 21 was just awful.
Yeah,
that they essentially changed the rules. If they really wanted one lap of racing, they could have brought everyone in and had a static start, put everyone on new tires, and really see who wins in that case. Max probably would have dive bombed him and took him out and then won anyway, but who knows?
Well, we can get to it next. There's a bunch of NFL news to get to. Juan Soto, like the contracts in baseball, Gager.
Makes me wish I would have played baseball.
Kids, if you have kids, get them in baseball, baby, because Juan Soto will be making $51 million per year, Gager.
I saw he's making like a little bit over the next 15 years. He makes like $5,600 an hour. Every day. 24 hours a day for 15 years.
On freaking
awesome.
Real. We'll shift outside of the Oilers just for 1 second. We'll talk some F1, we'll talk some NFL, and we'll talk the ridiculous contract Juan Soto got from the New York Mets. This is EST Afternoons. We're doing really well with the thumbs up, 58 already. I think this is the highest we've had this early into the show. We got an hour and 20 to go. Let's get to 100 as soon as we can. We appreciate it. Keep hitting the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to get more eyes on our good old station here at Edmonton Sports Talk. We'll shift gears a bit and go around the world of sports next. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. But first up, Zach with a sports update.
A couple NHL goalies are on the move with the Avs trading Alexander Georgiev, Nikolai Kovalenko, a 2026 second-round pick, and a fifth-rounder in next year's draft to the Sharks in exchange for Mackenzie Blackwood, Giovanni Smith, and a fifth-round pick in 2027. A three-game NHL slate has the Canadiens battling the Ducks, the Rangers facing the Blackhawks, and the Red Wings hitting the ice against the Sabres. Down south, Derek Carr enters concussion protocol, being listed as week-to-week, while also recovering from a hand injury, with interim coach Darren Rizzi announcing that the team will not place Carr on the injury reserve. And Monday Night Football action has the Cowboys taking on the Bengals, with Lieutenant Eric hanging out at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for the game. Catch him down there at 6:15 for kickoff. Just after the break, more with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you can afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road Park.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Book your holiday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brewhouse is your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. My buddy Joaquin Gage, my buddy Zachticum behind the screens there, producing the show. I'm Hernan Salas, 69 thumbs up. We're well on our way to 100. Thank you so much, Nazis, for the support. It's great. DVD, Tampa Bay still on the ice currently in Edmonton, so he has to do a story on John Cooper, so he's waiting for him. So he's going to join us a little bit later in the second hour, maybe after Tre Ford. So
John Cooper and I went to the same high school.
John Cooper?
Yeah.
Nice. Were you guys buddies?
I'm not that old. Jesus.
So he's older.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, he doesn't look that old.
No, he doesn't look that old.
I'm just saying, Gager.
Barry Trotz was there, too.
Really? Man, that's a good school.
Yeah.
You guys have a hockey team?
It's a pretty good one, yeah.
A floor hockey?
No, it was... Rod Brendamore went there.
Oh.
Curtis Joseph.
Damn.
It's another little factory I was part of.
You're just a bunch of factories. And now you're in this one.
Yeah.
The factory of sports entertainment. All right. What do you want to start with first? F1, NFL, or Juan Soto?
Let's go F1 because it was a sad day. I think like there was a lot of emotions, especially with Lewis talking about his performance with Mercedes that's coming to an end. And, you know, Lewis isn't a young guy anymore. This is most likely could probably be the last team that he drives for next year with Ferrari. Valtteri Bottas done in F1. That's kind of sad to see. He's going to be reserved, all right. I thought I heard he might be a reserve driver. Yeah. So, but I'm not sure which team. I know there was back at Mercedes possibly, but we'll see. Just the one thing, and the boys talked about it this morning on the morning show, Pierre Gasly didn't cost Alpine a cent with any crashes or anything.
That's
And he was good, man. By the end of the year, I don't know what it was with Alpine, but they kind of figured some things out with that car, and they looked good. And I've always liked Gasly. I thought when you watch the Drive to Survive series, and probably a little bit too much too soon getting that Red Bull seat for him. But I think the real story of going into next season is the rivalry between George Russell and Max Verstappen. I think this is what's going to really fuel it.
Yeah.
I can basically guarantee, and I can't wait for it, is the Drive to Survive that will come out in February, and the last 2 episodes will probably just focus on this going into this race, right?
I love it.
And Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri winning McLaren winning the constructors, hence the
First time in how many years?
I can't.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time, decades. It's been decades since they've done it. So, I mean, this will be the last year with this type of car. And you saw how good they became. If you think back to the year after Max won his first one, and the new development of these cars came in, and Red Bull just hit it out of the park. Like, no one could touch them for so many years. And cars were breaking down. You remember Ferrari, they just couldn't get things together. The reliability of these things is way better. So now that everyone's caught up, I think everyone's caught Red Bull, the advancements, even the teams in the bottom half are closer, so it's going to be a lot of fun watching.
Van Owen says 26 years for McLaren.
26, yeah.
And then I saw this other stat yesterday, which kind of caught my attention. Oscar Piastri becomes the 4th driver in F1 history to complete all the laps.
Wow.
Yeah, 1,444 laps in 2024, and joining the exclusive club consisting of Verstappen, Hamilton, and I think it's Michael Schumacher. That's impressive.
I like, everyone asks me, who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite driver? I go, really, I don't really have one. I like it all. I'm kind of leaning towards McLaren these days. Partly because of Oscar Piastri. That he's got ice in his veins, man. Even when he talks, he's just so low key. You hear guys on their onboards, on their radios, and everyone's, obviously you're going to be a little bit jacked up, but Oscar's just like, gosh, I wish they showed. The only thing I'd like to see in F1 cars, I'd like to see tons more, but I think they should have the heart rate of the drivers showing. I think that would be awesome to see. So these guys going, over 200 miles an hour, wheel to wheel with someone, and seeing their heart rate at like 80 or something like that would be unbelievable.
For you, outside of Lewis Hamilton joining Ferrari, what's going to be the biggest story for you heading into next season?
I mean, if Max can win 5 in a row, that's huge.
Who his partner is going to be?
Who his partner? That's interesting too, right? Because we all saw what happened. Checo's he's been on the downward slide for a while here, and just an awful, awful way to end his season by getting a DNF too. I think. What do you think? Do you think it's over? I think it's over for him.
I do too.
Because they didn't announce anything, and Christian Horner he never actually said, yes, he's our driver for next year. Because last year, kind of the same things. They said, yeah, he's our driver. I think this comes down to the wording of the contract with performance stipulations of what he needed to hit, or the goals that he needed to hit. And I don't think a lot of those were met.
Yeah. What about, so who's out next year? Who's out of a car? It's Bottas,
Joe. Sorry, I'm just kind of pulling this up here. Let's see. So we've got, Lance. That's always debatable, I guess. But Magnussen's out.
Magnus. Hulkenberg out?
Hulkenberg's going to Audi. Bottas is out. Colapinto doesn't have a seat. So yeah, well, there's a few guys that are gone.
So there's a few spots open.
No, the only spot left is the seat with well, they kind of say Red Bull, but the one in, God, why am I losing this? Someone help me out here. Is it? It'll come to me. I'm not sure.
I have a really dumb question. If you win the F2 championship, is that an automatic bump into
No.
No.
Okay. It's they're kind of like farm teams for a lot of these, from what I gather. Different. Like, I've watched a few races. They're fun to watch because it's a little bit different, right? Even down to the qualifying. It's just 25 minutes. So,
so would Colapinto, like, let's say Colapinto doesn't have a seat next year, is it better for him to go back to F2 and race or be a reserve?
See, I think it would be to race to me. I mean, they're getting valuable time in the simulator and they're doing a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
But, you'd think you'd be better off racing. I think it's the RB team that has that seat. Yuki Tsunoda's signed for next year. But Liam Lawson is kind of in the talks to maybe being Max's partner. Not sure. I don't know how Yuki would take that. He probably wants that other Red Bull seat. But
is who's the Mercedes now with Russell?
Kimi Antonelli, a young driver. He was in, I believe it was Imola, where at the start of the year he got free practice 1 and had the best first couple sectors of driving the Mercedes car out of all the other cars. Was fastest on track, but then he lost it and went into the wall there. So looks like a really good driver too. But I think George Russell's a little bit older now. He can be the kind of veteran of that team, and then have the young guy with him as well.
Is Ollie Behrman in a seat next year?
No, I don't think so.
Because he raced a few for Ferrari this year.
And we talked about, like, he did stuff that was quite impressive, because I believe he was working with Carlos Sainz's wheel, like his steering, and had his kind of specs, and then last minute gets chucked into Leclerc's car, which Leclerc likes his buttons in different positions, and all of a sudden, no practice on this thing, and I believe he finished 7th in that race. So huge points for Ferrari. And it was cool. Like, I mean, today, or like Zach Brown said, that was the worst 2 hours of his life watching that race, because he saw Oscar get harpooned by Max at the first, get pumped down the line, and then it all relied on Lando Norris, because if something happened, a puncture or anything like that, a red flag, anything that comes in, and he doesn't finish first, there was a good possibility McLaren doesn't win the championship.
And then in 2026, you'll have 2 more spots open.
I believe so, with Cadillac, right? Yeah.
Van Owen says there are some good young fast drivers coming in. Bortoleto is wicked fast. I'm not sure Behrman will meet expectations at this point in his career. He also sees, let me see here. Kimi is wicked fast as well.
Yeah.
He says Behrman's in Haas next season.
Okay.
And then Lars asks you, Gager, do you think they have to honor the contract for Checo or cut him loose?
It all depends on the wording. Like, I'd love to actually get a hold of one of these F1 contracts and just see what all the bonuses and things and how it's laid out, because I think they just always leave it open. It's all performance based. I think the money's guaranteed, right? But the seat isn't always. To keep your seat, you have to meet these goals of whatever that is. Consistent Q3s, finishing with so many points by the end of the year, things like that. I wonder if, because I guess with Adrian Newey going to Aston Martin, the big question, he cannot start working on that car until March, the 1st of March or something, because of the non-compete with Red Bull. And I wonder what it's going to be like him working with Fernando Alonso. And we had Tim Herrera, and this I think it was last year, and we were just talking to him, and I asked about Lance, and he goes, look, Lance is he's behind one of the best drivers ever to be in F1, and for Fernando, and it's close. But you just look at some of the things that Lance has done. I'm hoping for a Canadian driver to do well. I think that would be great, because we get behind our athletes so well here. But I don't know. I just don't. How do you consider yourself a top team when you have a driver that's just consistently not there.
Like and his car's been. It's not as the top echelon one,
but
right?
they lost somewhere. They lost it. They were right up there. Like Fernando was having podiums that whole 1 year, right?
That's a good point. And you're seeing a lot of, like, you saw the Haas car, the guys in top 10. You saw Gasly finish strong. You saw so many guys, and Stroll's just never there. Ever.
Never, no. And even the Haas car, like the Haas had great one-lap pace. Look at Nico Hülkenberg. Like I don't know the exact number, but when have we seen a Haas car in Q3 consistently all year?
Yeah.
Right? On your fantasy teams, it was a no-brainer to pick him because you knew you were getting some points in qualifying with him. And probably the reason why he's found himself a seat in Audi next year.
Yeah, it's great. It's so exciting. I'm picking up Will Buxton's book on F1.
Yeah.
I heard it's really good, so that's my next read.
Have you watched Senna yet?
No, I have to start it.
I've watched the first.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta watch this. I can't. That's a good idea. Like when I have some time here, I'm gonna start watching Senna because it's. I've heard my nephew started watching. He said it's really, really good. And I heard Will Buxton's book's top notch for F1.
Yeah,
kind of the history and all the details and all that. I'm more into it now. I'd still call myself casual, but like I love what I love is the seat changes. Right? It's like trades. It's like we're signing this guy, we're signing that, and the drama now with Russell and Max Verstappen. You know it's big when you have my nephew, my buddies texting me like, "Do you see this fight?" Like, yeah. 5 years ago, no one cared if two F1 fighters got in a little bit of a fight, and it was funny when you're telling me they have the dinner at the end of the year. And tell the story for people that don't know.
I guess this is every year in Abu Dhabi. There's they have the drivers' dinner where they all go and eat together, and just classic guys being guys. They made sure that the seat next to Max was left open and they got there a little bit earlier, and George Russell was the last guy to show up, and the only seat remaining at this long table was the seat beside Max, and he went and got the chair and went to another place, so he didn't sit beside Max. So it's on, baby. It's on. I can't wait.
Yeah, Deaky Sparks says Hulk to Audi. That's probably Lando is such an L7 weenie though. Hontorio Mom says, and then Jason Leduc can't wait to see Lewis and Charles in the same machinery.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for that too, man. Charles is such a good driver, and you know what? It would be nice to see Lewis get a car under him that's a little bit more competitive. Hopefully it is. I think it will be. Ferrari was close this year, man.
Van Owen says Newey's autobiography is outstanding as well. Ooh,
I might have to look into that.
Might have to pick that one up. That was a fun conversation. Love talking F1. Maybe we'll try for Tim Harani, who was in Abu Dhabi for the race.
He's probably still there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how long he stays, but because they have testing now too, right?
Yeah.
So
just to kind of a season recap, because Gazer's very sad now that he won't have any F1 till February.
I'm useless till March.
And it was a fun conversation. Can't wait to see where some of these drivers end up, and more importantly, what happens with Checo is, I think, the big story heading into the offseason here.
It's that Red Bull seat if Checo's not there.
All right, we're at 78 thumbs up, an all-time record for our first hour. We're only 22 away. Come on, people. We got how many watching? 148. If you haven't smashed the thumbs up, let's get to 100 as quick as we can. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel here. It just puts more eyes on the station, more eyes on all the shows, and we really appreciate all your support. And hour two, Tre Ford, fresh off signing a 3-year extension with the Elks. He met with the media earlier today. He'll be joining us at 2:20, and Derek Van Diest had to push us aside for John Cooper. We'll forgive him, but he'll join us at 2:40, and more NFL and Juan Soto talk on the other side of the break, and we'll also get to your Broberg text as well. This is EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. We'll talk to you on the other side of the break.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
The San Jose Sharks have traded Mackenzie Blackwood, Giovanni Smith, and a 2027 fifth-round pick to the Avalanche in exchange for Alexander Georgiev, Nikolai Kovalenko, and a fifth-round selection for next year and a 2026 second-round pick. Just 3 games in the NHL with the Blackhawks battling the Rangers, Red Wings meeting the Sabres, and the Ducks facing the Canadiens, seeing the Oilers back in action tomorrow when they take on the Lightning. And Saints interim head coach Darren Rizzi says that Derek Carr is week to week being placed in concussion protocol while also recovering from a hand injury. And week 14 wraps up today with the Bengals kicking off against the Cowboys, where you can join Lieutenant Eric at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road for 6:15 kickoff, while the Raptors hit the court for the lone NBA game, tipping off with the Knicks. EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage resumes. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Here on EST Afternoons. Thank you for tuning in. It's Edmonton Sports Talk. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zach Kubusch with you. If you want to listen in, make sure to hit us up on the TuneIn or iHeartRadio apps. You'd like to watch us, hit us up on the YouTube channel. You want to chat with us, Nasty Chat on YouTube, or text us 780-218-9999. And we're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. Fun first hour. We talked a lot of Oilers, Skinner, Philip Broberg. Who's at fault for the mishandling of Mr. Philip Broberg? We also did a full recap on F1. Look forward to the offseason and some movement there and everything that's going to happen in F1 with Joaquin Gage, our F1 expert. What about the fantasy? Who won? Stupid question. Stupid.
I'm offended.
My niece says, hi, Uncle, on the Nasty Chat. Hi, niece.
Nice.
Hope you're doing well. If you're at work, get back to work. Cager, NFL this weekend. I'll tell you one thing. The Kansas City Chiefs are just pissing me off right now. Holy smokes, those guys have a shoehorn up there. You know what?
See,
did you see the end of the game?
Yeah, I saw it.
Come on.
Andy Reid, like, looking off to the side, like, and waiting to hear the fans' reaction. But was it the doink?
The doink.
The doink win. You know, this is the one thing, though. Like, of course, I always kind of compare sports and how wins, and everyone thinks the Chiefs should just be blowing people out. But it is way more valuable to be in a situation where, you know, you're everything's heightened, the games are close, you're learning how to win. Like, the best hockey teams that I have always been on, it wasn't, you know, we'd beat teams 6-3, 7-2 stuff. We'd beat them 2-1, like 3-2, you know, late goals. And that's what they're doing. They're learning how to win the hard way. It's easy to win a blowout because usually the other team stinks. So they're getting every team's game. I'm Yeah, at first I was a little bit hesitant, but I really do think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win a third Super Bowl this year.
But they're getting lucky in a lot of ways.
I don't care.
You don't care?
No.
But that luck's going to run out.
Is it?
I think it is.
Hasn't
There's
yet.
no way they can continue going this way, winning games in the last second with doinking in and just bizarre play after bizarre play.
They are the
I know
most
some people
exciting team in football.
Are they though?
Yes, because everyone hates them, first of all, and it keeps the haters engaged, right? If they were just blowing people out, no one would watch.
Yeah.
But they're watching, hoping the Chiefs lose. So
You're hate watching.
Yeah, you have. It's a polarizing audience. Either you love the Chiefs or you want them to lose, and they're not doing it, and it's driving people crazy. Then the best thing about sports, what you want most watching a sporting event, is to feel some connection to it. And the Chiefs have provided connection for 13 weeks.
Crazy game between the Rams and Bills, 44-42. No defense in that one. And then I'm happy for my Niners. They still won't make the playoffs, but they took it to the Bears, who are just a complete and utter mess right now. So happy that the Niners won, but they're in really, really, really tough. So we'll wait and see on that. Tonight, Gager, Cowboys hosting the Bengals. Two very disappointing teams.
At the beginning of the year, you probably circle this, but what a game. This could have like playoff implications or whatever, seeding in the now it's not very exciting. No, I was kind of excited this year for the Cincinnati Bengals. I was leaning towards them just because of Joe Burrow, but I'm pretty sure it was Zig this year at the beginning of the season just saying they don't have the offensive line to protect them.
Hey, on a positive though, Gager, Dallas Cowboys are going for the third straight win.
Hey, all right, Dallas, good for them.
I'll dabble a bit, probably while making supper and all that, but this is a game that I'm not really, really interested in. You can save it for the highlights.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But it's getting down to crunch time, which is great. There's nothing better around, Christmas time. A lot of games have, the snow's falling. I love watching NFL football around December, just getting close to playoffs. It's great.
Smitty the Welder says, Gager, stick to hockey. The Chiefs aren't winning again. They have been lucky all year. Refs can't help them this year. Well,
guys, look, this is there's something to winning games the way they are. Call it luck, call it what you will. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. As long as you're winning. But I think if they were blowing out teams and just rolling through, that's when it gives me a little bit of pause, because how many times do we say this about the President's Trophy winners, right? Usually it's a team that just rolled through the regular season. And what happens the first round of the playoffs? They get destroyed.
Yep.
And I know football's a little bit different. One game, anything can happen, but I just think, man, that they've got battle tissue, of scar tissue of these types of games, and winning them late like this. They're not going to be a stranger when it gets to this point in the season. They're going to be so used to it, compared to maybe some other teams haven't gone through this gauntlet that this lucky gauntlet that the Chiefs have had.
Tiki Spark says, the goalie line, good to be lucky, lucky to be good. That's the Chiefs too. Yeah.
No goalie's lucky.
I'm just and outside of that, the other games were all kind of meh. You saw the Eagles win again, the Seahawks, the Jets lost in overtime. Of course they did. I think they're eliminated now. Steelers keep on rolling. Jaguars in a 10-6 thriller. The Vikings take it to double up the Falcons 42-21, and another dud. The Saints 14-11 over the Giants. Gager. So it's winding down, but it's getting exciting because the playoffs are just around the corner. There's nothing like that Saturday afternoon in the winter of some NFL playoffs.
What'd you think of Josh Allen?
In terms of
his game? Doing everything except winning.
I can't complain. I think I heard on the Hangout that he had like crazy fantasy points. Like that game was unreal. Yeah. Like that game was unreal. I was watching I was watching the Niners. You know what's crazy? And maybe people knew this, but like the Niners game wasn't on cable. So I just went to the NFL package on my guide, and I clicked on the Niners game just by chance, and it was on for free.
Well, they gave it for free. They felt that bad for you.
They're like, this poor guy, we're not going to make him pay for this crap.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So I don't know if that's a Christmas
You might want
thing.
to check your cable bill.
Yeah, I know. I better not get charged for watching that, man. Holy smoke. And then, like we talked, Juan Soto.
Oh, my gosh.
Signs a 15-year, $765 million contract, which includes a vesting opt-out clause that would take the deal to $805 million. They gave him a $75 million signing bonus, Gager, and an opt-out after year 5 of the deal. And if they opt in, if they opt in that 5th year, it goes from $51 million a year to $55.
It's staggering.
I get he's talented and an awesome baseball, but no one's worth that kind of money for playing a sport. I'm sorry.
What does Deion Sanders, like, he was given an interview, what sport's harder? He goes, oh, it's baseball. Like, where in any other sport you do something good 2 times out of 10 and you're considered a really good player, right? Like, it's...
But like if
3 times out of 10.
If you look at baseball, where would you rank Juan Soto, right? Like, he's not the best player in the league. Maybe for some he is, but he's not Connor McDavid. He's not LeBron James. Do you know what I mean? He's not who's the best player in the NFL right now? I
don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's the like, this is ridiculous money. Like, his grandkids won't even be able to spend this money when it's all said and done.
Whoever's in his family is there's too much money there. It's a crazy amount to play baseball.
The agent who negotiated that is just over the moon. That guy can retire too right now.
Oh yeah,
like and none of it's deferred.
Yeah,
like it is. He's making more than Shohei.
Like, he's not better than Shohei.
No,
not even close. Mike Trout, is he better than Trout?
I mean, Trout's stuck there in.
That's sad, man. I hate seeing really, like, the most talented athletes
waste away.
Well, not even get a chance to do something. Like, to not see Trout in a playoff series, or in a World Series for that matter, win or lose. I think it's really disappointing.
Maddie says Soto's a top 10 player in the MLB right now, easily. Plus, still really young, considering he might be top 5. Yeah, we said that, but we said he's not the best player in the league. Like, he's obviously one of the top guys, but like, this money is just. And I know baseball is ridiculous with their contracts for their top guys, Gager.
Yeah,
but this is beyond anything I ever imagined seeing an athlete make.
Like, he should buy like tickets for everybody for a few games, I think.
I think he can afford it. He's only 26 years old, so wow. Maddie makes a good point there. How old is Shohei? Let me look that up. And good on him. I mean, he's set up his life for generations. Shohei's 30.
What's Shohei's? 600 million? What was?
I think he's
700 million, 10 years, I think.
Okay. I mean, it's hundreds of millions of dollars. I think Dusty and Eric went through, and the top 10 hockey contracts don't come out even close to Soto's contract.
In 1 year, he makes what Connor makes in 5, 6. And Connor McDavid's the most electrifying player the NHL has ever seen.
Yeah.
And look at the difference in pays.
Yeah, they got to make these hockey stadiums bigger.
This is a good question by Panner's Pancakes. Okay, so where does this put Vladdy Jr.'s next deal at? I saw 500 million rumblings. I mean, if he's a smart man, he's starting somewhere there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like, he's the best. Well, I don't know if he's the best player on the Blue Jays, but he's the most popular, and they want to probably keep him around if you want to continue to sell tickets. But if Vladdy's smart, he's like, yeah, I'm going to test free agency because I'm going to get a lot of money.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Amazing. Caster 1990 says the Mets are still paying Bobby Bonilla until 2031, so no surprise they offer Soto, a dumber deal. No way he should be getting more than Ohtani. Doesn't pitch, mediocre fielding, and doesn't steal. See? They
do need a hard cap. But the players, it's getting out of hand. Like
it's getting, and it's funny because I think the Yankees, what was the difference? $5 million? No, it was more. If Iwanik's still listening, what was the difference between the Yankees and the Mets? It wasn't a lot, Gage.
Really?
So Yankees fans, I don't know if you saw some videos yesterday, some guys burning their jerseys and chirping them and all over Twitter. So, and then Smitty the Welder says, Ohtani's still making more on yearly salary. Yeah. I mean, Ohtani's a unicorn, though.
No, yeah. And
the guy's great at pitcher and a great hitter, does it all, steals.
I think he's pitching next year, right?
Probably, yeah.
So that to see your pitcher and he's your best hitter, like by far, it's great. I love that. I love that to see when Ohtani does his thing. Like the thing is he's a masterful pitcher too. Yeah. It's not like he just pitches. Like he's an ace.
Yeah, like he's your number one.
Yeah. And then he goes and hits in runs. It's crazy.
So the Yankees offered 16 years at $760 million. He took 15 years at $765 million.
Jesus.
He stays in New York though, but he goes to the good New York team, the Mets, right, Gager?
Well, Jerry Seinfeld. So it's Seinfeld money. and Seinfeld's a Mets fan.
Just unreal. An unreal deal when I saw that coming down the Twitter machine yesterday. Ooh.
Hey, what do you think about, because I saw some NFL panels talk. I think it was Brady and Gronk were talking about it too with Edelman about Belichick going to college and coaching. They were all saying, can you imagine him going to college and sitting on a couch in a recruiting team? And Gronk was hilarious because he's going, well, we don't really want you, but you can come if you want.
I think just for the stories, it'd be great. Yeah, and it'd be great to follow him. That might be my team if he gets the job.
Well, the one thing that Brady said in an interview or on the broadcast is when you went to colleges, they were a program, like they prepared you for something.
Yeah.
Now they're just teams. Like there's not a lot of learning going on, he said. And Belichick, I read, he's going, I'm going to run this like a program, an NFL program. It's going to prepare you. So, I mean, I think that's what you kind of need. A coach going in there that really, does he need the job? No. Does he need the money? No. He just wants to win. And I think that's a good combination of a guy that's, arguably one of the best football minds of a generation, and just start teaching young kids how to become professional football players.
Yeah, it was rumored that he's interviewing, so he's obviously serious about it. It might be a little bit of change for him from the pro game, so we'll wait and see on Bill Belichick. This one says, Soto makes the whole CFL salary himself, and a lot more. Like that's
he's saying everything, like teams, tickets. I mean,
the whole league.
I don't want to tell you how much I make making dogs, but it's close.
All right, coming up next, we will talk with the Edmonton Elks starting quarterback Tre Ford, fresh off a 3-year extension. He met with the media earlier today as well, but we'll chat with Tre and catch up with him as he is in our great city. Sounds like he's going to be here in the offseason as well, which is awesome. That's coming up next here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, but first up, our guy Zach with a sports update.
A couple of NHL goalies are switching places with the Avs trading Alexander Georgiev, Nikolai Kovalenko, a 2026 second-round pick and a fifth-rounder in next year's draft to the Sharks in exchange for Mackenzie Blackwood, Giovanni Smith, and a fifth-round selection in 2027. A 3-game slate has the Canadiens battling the Ducks, the Rangers facing the Blackhawks, and the Red Wings hitting the ice against the Sabres. And down south, Derek Carr enters concussion protocol, being listed as week to week while recovering from a hand injury, with interim coach Darren Rizzi announcing that the team will not place Carr on the injury reserve. And Monday Night Football action has the Cowboys taking on the Bengals, with Lieutenant Eric hanging out for the game at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road. Kickoff goes at 6:15. And in basketball, the Raptors meet the Knicks for the lone game in the association. Elks quarterback Tre Ford joins the show just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for two at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
In life, it takes a village. From childhood to your golden years, we all need support. At Capital Care Foundation, we've built that village for our 2,100 seniors. Join us in creating a nurturing environment that feels like home and fosters community connections. Your donation makes a difference. Visit capitalcarefoundation.net today and become a vital part of our village. Because together, we can make every stage of life a shared journey. Be a part of the journey. Support Capital Care Foundation.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website, edmontonsportstalk.com.
It's 2:22. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, Zach Kubusch. We're at 99 thumbs up. Let's get to 100 for our guy, Tre Ford, who just signed a 3-year deal extension with the Edmonton Elks. He met with the media earlier today along with Ed Hervey and head coach Mark Killam. We had our guys down there. It was a great press conference. And now Edmonton Elks quarterback Tre Ford joins the show. Tre, you're on with Hernan and Joaquin. How you doing today? Oh, well. Yeah, we have some issues there with the phone. We'll have Tre on right away here. As I was going to say, what do we call that voice again?
Darth Vader?
Darth Vader joined us there.
Man.
Yeah.
Tre doesn't sound too happy after that deal.
Maybe it's me. I got to talk to this guy again.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, like we were saying, I think that it's getting it done this early, being the first piece of the puzzle, knowing that you're wanted somewhere, it means a lot to a professional athlete, you know. And he knows that the fans, he heard them chanting his name and wanting to see him. There's a lot of extra motivation to be not only a good player in the CFL, but a star for the Edmonton Elks. Get this ship turned around, buddy.
And I like it that they have their president, their coach, their GM, and their quarterback all done before Christmas. Now we can all relax, head into the offseason, wait for free agency, see what other pieces they add to the team. It's going to be great. I'm so happy for everybody down at the Elks organization.
Who do you think is the next target, really? Or are we going with Tre?
Well, Jay's reporting that he had some conversations down there and looks like they're going to put an emphasis on D-line and O-line, which is probably the smart way to go for your team. Tre Ford is back with us. Tre, how you doing today? You're on with Joaquin and Hernan.
Good. Been a pretty crazy day with the flights and everything and medicals, so I've been pretty busy.
Hey, Tre, just talk about the process. I mean, you go into the offseason, the Elks had to hire a president, a GM, a new head coach, and kind of go through all that process for you. Just seeing all those hires and then you getting the 3-year extension, can you just talk about how the process went for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, originally when the season ended, I wasn't too sure what was going to happen. I wasn't sure if I was going to stay in Edmonton or not. And then a couple of pieces fell in place, obviously with Chris Morris, right, Ed, and Mark getting the job. And, they reached out and, we agreed on a lot of things and were able to figure out, make a contract work. But, yeah, the thing that really, got me to stay in Edmonton was definitely the three guys that they did hire, right? There were three guys that talked to me and told me they believe in me as a quarterback, and that I have potential to be a franchise quarterback and lead this team to a Grey Cup. So, that was something that interested me, and they've all seemed like really good dudes. So that was really the selling point right there.
Tre, this gets your congratulations, first of all, man. That's really exciting. I know that a lot of people in Edmonton are excited to see you locked up for the next 3 years here. Going into this season now, tell us about the differences between last season and what does the preparation look like going into next year?
Well, so for me personally, it's slightly different in the sense that this year I will be here in the off season, moving to Edmonton full time in January, just to be closer, right, to obviously the facility, having a place to train. The OC is going to be here in the off season as well, so being able to work with him in the off season, right, because we're going to have a new offense, because we have new coaches and everything. Slightly adjust my workouts I do in the off season. I've been doing more running and throwing. Want to get a little bit more back into the weight room, and just get that body prepared for the season to, take those unexpected hits and stuff like that. So,
Tre, with like you said, a new coaching staff coming in, not announced yet, so we won't go with names just yet. But what does that do for you? I know in your press conference you said you were feeling really comfortable last year towards the end with the playbook. A new offense coming in. How much time does that take a quarterback to kind of grasp all of it?
It definitely. I think it actually takes a couple of years. I think 2 or 3 years to finally get a full grip and master the offense. Especially, coming from U Sports to the CFL. I think it's going to be a faster learning curve this year just because I've seen more defenses now. I've seen how defenses adjust. And a lot of teams do run similar kind of offenses with similar concepts. So it's not so much learning the new concepts and stuff. It's more learning the language of how it's called in the huddle, communicating it to the players, and getting out there and executing it. So I think the learning curve is going to go a lot faster, and I'm really excited to see how it goes.
Tre, so I mean, living here in Edmonton in the off season, that's great. Tell us a little bit more about like meeting with the offensive coordinator, and does a quarterback get a ton of input into creating the playbook, or are you kind of like a consultant? Tell us about that whole process.
Yeah, I mean, usually the offensive coordinator will have a playbook, but I think, the best version of that is when there is communication between, obviously, the quarterback and the coordinator. So, determining plays that you like more than other ones, maybe some plays you don't like at all, right? And just, I feel like making the quarterback comfortable is a top priority because, it is the hardest position to play in football, right? So the easier you can make the quarterback's job, I think the better it is. I haven't sat down with him yet and talked X's and O's or anything. But I'm looking forward to that, and I think it's going to be really, really good. And he's had a lot of success in the CFL, so I'm happy to see, his input and how he views offenses and how he views defenses.
Edmonton Elks quarterback Tre Ford joining us here, fresh off signing a 3-year extension with the Green and Gold. Tre, your first 3 years in the league, the last 3 years, whatever we want to call it, a lot of ups and downs as a team, and as a player yourself. What did you learn from those 3 years that are going to make you a better player and a better person going forward here?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's a whole bunch of stuff you learn in the last 3 years, right? Good things and bad things, like you said, but I think the good thing, I would say, is relationships. Just the relationships you create, right? I mean, yeah, we didn't have a great 3 years when you talk about winning and going to the playoffs and Grey Cup and everything, but the relationships I've created with some of my teammates, it's been phenomenal, right? Still talking to them throughout the offseason. I want to try to get them back early so we can start putting some work in this offseason and, try to change the outcome for next year. And then two, other than relationships, just, knowing that nothing is guaranteed in professional football, right? Like, I signed a 3-year extension, but that doesn't mean that I'm the guy in Edmonton for the next 3 years, right? I got to go out there and earn it every single rep, every single play, every single week, right? I have to go earn the job. Nothing's going to be given to you, right? And I think I experienced that really well. I think in my 3 years, with things going the way they did, it's back and forth, and you never really know what's going to be going on. But I think, the coaching staff and stuff we have now is a little bit more organized, right, and on top of things, and a little more encouraging to me, at least.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Trey, so what does the vision board look for on your wall here in Edmonton, and what are the goals for next year? And is your brother living with you this summer?
Yeah, he's staying with me right now a little bit. He's doing some NFL workouts and stuff, so it's kind of back and forth with him. He's there for a couple of days and gone for a couple of days. But yeah, no, the vision obviously is, one day get a chance to play with my brother in the CFL. That'd be really cool. But other than that, like, going out there and, not being the same Edmonton Elks we were the last 3 years. Having a chance to go into the playoffs, try to host a playoff game, right, and get to the Grey Cup. I think that's the goal for every team, every single year. But then, we have other goals too than just winning football games, right? We want to build that old Edmonton culture, right? We don't want it to just be a football team that is out there, winning games, fantastic, but we want to be more involved in the community and those things outside of football.
Sounds like MOPs and Grey Cups. Great, buddy. I like that.
Trey, your last game, I just remember the last drive before the punt single rouge win for the Edmonton Elks. You connected with your guy, Zach Mathis there. Can you just talk about, I just saw you guys celebrate after and brought a big smile to my face. It was great to see you guys connect. I know you guys are really close, but what was that feeling like to connect with him in such a big play and a touchdown?
Yeah, no, it was phenomenal. That's one of my top CFL memories, and I think the reason that I valued it so much is, one, it was his first touchdown, right, which is ginormous, and it was cool that I was able to throw him that touchdown, especially since I didn't know if I was going to be back in Edmonton, right?
Yeah.
So at least being able, to have that first touchdown pass for him, right, was phenomenal, and it was one that, like, put us back from a comeback. We were down, I think, 20-9 or something. We came back in those last 6 minutes, and were able to close out the game. Obviously, I would know they went down and kicked the field goal and tied it up and went to overtime. But his touchdown was the one that, put us in that situation to win. So it was super cool in that aspect for sure.
And since you brought it up, what's your favorite Tre Ford moment? Because I know we have a lot here at the station in your first 3 years, but is there one play, one touchdown that stands out for you as your favorite play so far in your young career, Trey?
My favorite one?
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it's probably that one that I threw to Zach. I know a lot of people might say the Toronto one.
Yeah.
Because that one was all running around and stuff. And that one was cool, right? Because it was back home with my family and stuff. But, I mean, I get to go back there all the time and touchdown pass in Hamilton and Toronto. The family's all there. So, either way, that's cool. But, no, it's definitely the one to Zach just because we are really close. And I was just happy that I was able to give him the opportunity.
My Gage, mine's not even a touchdown. It's Trey, was your second year Labor Day Classic, and you just scrambled for it was like 60 yards. You dodged the ball, 5 players to get a sack, and then you cut across, and it was just a phenomenal. And our guy Dustin Nielsen had a great call on it, so that one stands out to me. And one last one for you, Trey. You're big in home renovations. What is your favorite and least favorite parts of home renovations?
Okay, least favorite part. 150% is doing like the drywall mudding and painting. Those are the worst two.
Yes.
Worst two. The best thing though is doing the flooring, because the flooring you can it's a kind of a faster process and you see it right away. You see the improvement. So definitely the flooring.
Nice. Well, Trey, it was great catching up with you. Congratulations once again on the 3-year deal. I know everybody here in the city and in our station is so excited to see you take the reins of this team, and can't wait until next June to see you lead this offense and the team, hopefully to a very, very, very successful season. Trey, all the best, my friend, and we'll chat soon.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Edmonton Elks quarterback Tre Ford. What a guy. Eh?
Awesome.
Just beauty.
Yeah, just looking in the nasty chat, Derek from the Hat and Nubian One basically echoing the same sentiments where you heard you want people to stay here in the offseason, and what does Tre say the first thing? Yeah, I'm living in Edmonton now. That's what you want. You want nothing better than seeing especially as kids. I'm thinking of as little kids, like when you run in and you see Tre Ford in the grocery store or Costco, and he says hi to you, like part of the community thing.
Yeah.
That's that community bond that's kind of built this way. Not like Connor McDavid, those people that didn't put the beer in the back of his car. If you see Tre Ford with a six pack, help him out. He's got to save that throwing arm.
I remember in year 2 when the Elks broke the home losing streak. It was against Ottawa here, I think. And then I remember talking to Tre later, like the following week, and he's like, "Yeah, I went out." He went to Earl's to have dinner by himself.
Yeah,
and he goes, "Yeah, a bunch of people noticed him, paid for his dinner."
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, you see, like that kind of stuff's awesome,
and that's what I mean. Tre should be plastered everywhere.
Oh, he's got to be.
The
everywhere.
Oilers should be like, "Hey, let's get Tre and Connor, Tre and Leon." Like, why not? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, let's bring up the Elks players as much as we do the Oilers.
Tre Ford should be dropping the puck at the next Oilers game.
Great call. He should be there tomorrow.
Yes. He should be there. He's still in Toronto, I think, right now.
No, he's here.
Oh, he's here?
Yeah.
Okay. He should be dropping the puck at the game with his jersey on. I guarantee the place goes nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So,
are you listening, Oilers?
Yeah, they're listening.
You just got some free, what do you call it?
Free marketing advice there.
Free marketing advice for tomorrow's game. Have Tre Ford drop the puck at center ice. That is a great way. Or just have him there and then put him on the big screen.
Yeah.
He's getting everybody pumped
do that.
up.
Have Tre Ford jerseys with McDavid jersey. You know how they do that half and half stuff?
Yeah. We need more of that. We need more support for the Elks in that sense. So I know we're going to be pumping up the Elks and Tre Ford all offseason here.
I just got a message from Edmonton Sports Talk. I believe it's Iwanic. Tre Ford coming to an EST hangout soon. Wow,
that's so exciting.
I might have to come in and with the popcorn and watch that one.
I'm always here by when their show ends, so it'll be great to see him. And he'll be a huge guest. He was a guest, I think, a couple off seasons ago with Gavin Cobb. So that is awesome. Let's go. Tre Ford back in Edmonton, and up next, another stud here in the city, Derek Van Diest from NHL.com will join us to talk Oilers, and maybe we'll ask him about the Dallas Cowboys game, how stoked he is to watch that tonight. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. But first up, a sports update with Zach Kubusch.
The San Jose Sharks have traded Mackenzie Blackwood, Giovanni Smith, and a 2027 fifth-round pick to the Avalanche in exchange for Alexander Georgiev, Nikolai Kovalenko, a second-rounder in 2026, and a fifth-round selection for next year. And the Oshawa Generals have fired bench boss Steve O'Rourke after dropping a 6-1 game to the Saginaw Spirit. The Generals stand first place in the OHL East Division, with the team naming assistant coach Brad Malone as the interim bench boss. Just 3 games in the NHL, with the Blackhawks battling the Rangers, Red Wings meeting the Sabres, and the Ducks facing the Canadiens, seeing the Oilers back in action tomorrow against the Lightning. Week 14 wraps up in the NFL with the Bengals kicking off against the Cowboys, where you can join Lieutenant Eric at the Century Casino Sports Barn Lounge on Fort Road for the action. And this sports update has been brought to you by the Capital Care Foundation. Give the gift of Christmas spirit this year with the Capital Care Foundation. For just $25, you can bring Christmas alive for a senior living in Capital Care Center. Donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. Derek Van Diest joins EST Afternoons after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. an in-house one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Celebrate the season by creating space for your holidays. Sentinel Storage. Affordable and flexible storage solutions at a store near you. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
EST Afternoons. We have hit 108 thumbs up, which is awesome. Awesome, Gager. That's 2 days in a row. Thank you, Nasties. Great conversation with Tre Ford. If you want to listen back, just rewind, or you'll find it later on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. Great interview. Very happy Tre Ford is back with the green and gold. But we're going to talk some more Edmonton Oilers as Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joins us now. DVD, how was your convo with Mr. John Cooper?
It was good. It was good. He revealed all the line combinations and all the defensive pairings and his starting goaltender. Yeah, he told us it all. You guys should have been here. He let it all out.
No, boy.
I don't think he knows who's playing with who yet. It was good. It's a weird day down here at Rogers, to be honest. The St. Louis Blues are still in town. They practiced because it's Taylor Swift in Vancouver, so they couldn't get a hotel room under $3,000 a night. So they decided to stick around here for an extra couple days. So they practiced here and they're leaving. The Oilers practiced here, and then Tampa Bay Lightning showed up and they're practicing here. So 3 teams today. Lots going on. Lots of Four Nations stuff to talk about. Lots of things to talk about. So yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a busy day here. I can't recall ever having 3 teams here practicing at one time, 3 NHL teams, but it was good. It was really good. Got to talk to a lot of guys, very informative. And yeah, I got to go through that tape recorder and transcribe all those interviews. So I'll be working late tonight.
Hey, DVD, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. The Oilers have won 5 of their last 6, looking really good for most part. Are they back?
Well, this week's going to reveal that, won't it? Like, you look at their schedule this week. You know, they got Tampa, Minnesota, Vegas, Florida. Like, that's murderer's row right there. So if they are back, they're playing very good hockey. You're really going to get a good look and see where they are after this week. Are they back as contenders or are they not? And I think they're looking forward to it. Talking to Connor McDavid, Connor McDavid is Connor. He's one game at a time, but sure everyone sees what the schedule is coming up. They're focused on Tampa. Tampa's coming in here off a big win in Vancouver. So they're focused on that. But yeah, it's going to be a really, really good schedule here. Really, really tough schedule. So we'll see how the Oilers handle it. I think after this 4-game set, then you'll kind of get a look and see, okay, is this team back? Are they playing the way they should be playing? Because to me, they're still a work in progress. Like it's always going to be that small parts of their game are coming together. But so far, I like their game. They're playing really well, and they just want to kind of keep that going. Continue that. McDavid basically said, "Yeah, we're just going to try and keep playing the way we're playing. It's a long season. It's a process, and we like the direction we're going right now."
DVD, there's been a lot of movement around the NHL over the last few days here. Is there any sense? Usually, when these things kind of happen in the NHL. One domino falls, and then you kind of see a few more fall from there. Do you think there's the possibility that the Oilers might make a move towards somewhere in their lineup before the Christmas break, or are they still kind of waiting for the right deal?
You know what? I think they are waiting for the right deal, but I do think they want to get some help on their back end. I think that's probably priority number one for them right now. And I think this week will really reveal the urgency level of that, whether they can wait for a little bit till maybe the prices come down closer to the trade deadline when you have teams. Right now you're getting these teams that still want to be contenders, so that they're trying to make moves. You look at Colorado; they obviously they want to get back in the game, but they've given up on their goaltending, and they're bringing in 2 new goaltenders. So I think right now everyone's kind of shuffling. Everyone talks about the Thanksgiving, the U.S. Thanksgiving, or where you are at U.S. Thanksgiving. That's where you'll likely end up to be at the end of the season. So I think right now we're seeing a lot of movement, a lot of shuffling, because teams aren't in that playoff spot, or teams don't want to fall out of that playoff spot. So, yeah, I think it's starting. It starts obviously with the coaching moves. We've already seen a couple of coaching moves. And then now you start shuffling the pieces, hoping to get the combination right. But I think as the season goes along, then you'll start separating the pretenders and the contenders. And then you'll see, I think, a bit more onus on, okay, we're going to get ready for a playoff run, or we're going to start selling off assets because things didn't go the way we wanted to. So we're still kind of in the mix there, but the teams will start separating themselves here heading towards Christmas.
Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joining us here on EST Afternoons. I know Knobloch touched on Arvidsson, but have you guys heard anything else outside of he's going to resume skating possibly this week?
I think someone saw him today on the ice. I'm not sure. We haven't seen him in 3 weeks. I don't know where he has been. He hasn't been around, and this was supposed to be a day-to-day thing, and then it turned into a week-to-week thing. And, someone asked him, are you sure it's not long-term? No, it's not long-term. And, this is a guy that plays really, really hard. And, his body's obviously taken that beating. It's the same thing when he was in Los Angeles. I really like his game. I like the way he forechecks. I like his tenacity on the puck. It's like a dog on a bone on the puck, this guy. But maybe that's just a little too hard for his body. I don't know, because he's always had the injury issues. That's always been his issue. He's he plays well when he's healthy and in the lineup, he can really help you. But if he's not healthy and no one seems to know what's wrong with him, no one, we've asked and they're not telling us anything. So who knows? But hopefully he'll start skating. Hopefully he'll get back soon. But he's kind of been MIA right now, and no one knows where he is.
Well, I'll leave that to Carmen Sandiego to find him. But Derek, if I'm assuming that you talked to John Cooper today, and might have asked him a few questions about the Four Nations coming up soon. What did he have to say about it? And obviously the lineup's now revealed. What kind of things was he able to tell you about coaching Team Canada in a few months?
Well, he's excited, and I think that one of the things that he talked about today was that he coached that whatever it was, an under-21 team at the last World Cup, or with McDavid and those guys, and Matthews and those guys, and so he's excited because these guys have gone from premier prospects at that tournament to the best players in the league. So he's really looking forward to kind of putting these things together and putting these players together. And, he likes the makeup of his team. Obviously, he was involved in getting some players. He's got 3 of his own players of Tampa Bay on that roster. I asked him about the goaltending, because goaltending is always a lightning rod issue in Canada. You're always pointing at the goaltenders. I actually got a chance to talk to Jordan Binghamton today about that as well. He likes his goaltending, got 2 Stanley Cup champions, and he said, and a world champion on that team. So he's really confident. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a real quick tournament, though. There's no easing your way into this tournament. It starts at the drop of the puck. You got to try and win those 3 games to get into the final. But just John Cooper being what I know of him, he's such a big hockey guy. He loves the game. He loves being around the game. He's really, really looking forward to being behind the bench and coaching some of the best players in the world at this tournament.
DVD, let's switch gears. Your football team's in action tonight. How stoked are you for hey, Dallas could win their 3rd straight tonight. Their 3rd straight game.
Yeah, Cooper Rush. I call him Cooper Checkdown Rush because he doesn't throw the ball over 10 yards. He's Mr. Checkdown. Because I know, it's unbelievable. You're yelling and screaming at him, dude, throw the ball over the line of scrimmage for a change. Stop throwing the 5-10 yard outs, because that's what he does. And I call him check down rush, because he's always checking off to that. the Cowboys are what they are. They're a team that in transition. They're going in the wrong direction. I've been clamoring that Mike McCarthy's going to be fired 3 years ago, and they still hold on to him. I don't know why they've held on to him as long as they did. The team was going up, and now it's going in a bad direction. Injuries have hurt, but injuries are part of the game. You got to be able to deal with injuries. If you lose some top end guys, you got to have guys to fill in. Maybe that happens when you're paying, your Mekhi Parsons, you're paying your Dak Prescott's, what you're paying them, and then when those guys go down, then you're in trouble. So. They're hanging on, but even if they get in the playoffs, they're not going anywhere. Not until Dak gets back anyway. So it's just like it's false hope here. I'm just looking forward. I'll watch the game today, obviously, because I'm a Cowboys fan. But
yeah,
I'm just hoping Cooper Rush throws the ball at least one pass over 20 yards. Like, come on, throw the ball down the field, man. Like, and it's frustrating to watch him because he drops back, he looks, checks off, drops back, looks, checks off. Like, throw the ball down the field. At least a couple of times. And, that's the frustrating part is, as a guy that played quarterback in high school, you got to take those shots down the field. And he never seems to do that. He always makes the safe play, the safe throw.
Yeah.
And it's kind of boring to watch, to be honest. Like, go down the field every now and then and try and make something happen.
DVD, thank you for taking the time this afternoon. I know you're super busy down there at the rink. I'm sure we'll have you on very soon. Enjoy the game tomorrow night, and I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right. Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. I like how he just laughs when we ask him Cowboys questions.
I know.
He's just like, oh, boy, why?
Oh, well.
Yeah, so.
It's like telling your kids at Christmas, there's always next year.
Yeah. Yeah. We're at 111 thumbs up. Well done, Nasties. Way to come through on this Monday.
Thank you.
It's a little slippery out there.
It's the season of giving, Hernan.
Yeah.
And thanks for giving us the Arthur Fonzarellis. We really appreciate that.
I just love how the studio looks too. Like, I feel
That's
so
really good.
festive right now.
It always bothered like that after Christmas. There's kind of that little malaise of it's over. Then you get into and there's this. I find it difficult because things that I'm looking forward to are still quite a ways off.
Yeah,
and we're stuck in cold and darkness.
Yeah, the darkness is the one that gets to me. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Host your team or league fundraiser at the Canadian Brew House for a chance to win $2,500 with tons of options to choose from. The Canadian Brew House can help you raise the funds for your crew. Details in-store or online at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. Keep it locked here on EST as the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne is coming up. They'll have a lot on the Oilers and Elks, of course, and a lot of their fun segments with good old Reed and Jay. So stay tuned. They'll be on 3 to 6, and we're back tomorrow with a full slate, 6 to 6, and a pre- and post-game show as the Edmonton Oilers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Great point by DVD. These next 4 games are...
Yeah. No, Penner's Pancakes was in there. He's got the... he says, win against Tampa, loss against the Wild, win against the Knights, Panthers are an OT loss.
I don't mind that. They never beat the Wild. So that's...
is Erickson or Joel...
Erickson and Zuccarello on IR.
Yeah, so I'll probably sprinkle a little on the oil on that one.
And Jonas Brody.
Oh,
Brodeen's out too.
Yeah.
Coop, tomorrow maybe we'll come to you and give us a quick 2-minute, 3-minute UFC wrap on what happened this weekend, because I was kind of following it along. I didn't see it live, but looks like some good scraps.
Hey, 2 minutes ain't enough for what happened over the weekend.
5 minutes, 5. Anytime you want, buddy. Anytime you want. And then we can look at what's coming up as well. But thank you so much. Big shout out to Derek Van Diest from NHL.com and Tre Ford from the Edmonton Elks, fresh off a 3-year deal. As Matt Iwanek kind of teased us, he will be on the hangout very, very, very soon.
Looking forward to it.
Joaquin, enjoy the rest of your night. Zach, keep up the good work. Love ya. For Joaquin Gage, Zach Kubusch, I'm Hernan Salas. This is EST Afternoons. We'll chat tomorrow. Ciao.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.